Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up podcast. Solly here, halfway point almost in the year as we're recording this, past halfway as of the time that you are hearing this. It is time. We promised we would do this. We did a little GHIN rewind at the end of last year. USGA has a great new tool through their app. You can look at your stats. And we had a great time discussing some fun things we identified in last year. And we're doing a mid-year check-in. So I got the crew with me today. Mr. TC. We took him off the golf course today. Guy's been playing some golf, but we got him indoors on a mic, ready to chat. Hello, TC.
Hello. I've been playing a lot of golf in the Southern Hemisphere this year. I think that's the key. Not a lot of golf at home. I think I've only played like 7 rounds at home. So
I thought you're getting beat up by the olds.
well, no, I was beating up the olds, and then I got beat up by a quote unquote 22 handicapper. Shot 86 in the semifinals of our match play championship to beat me 4-3.
It's tough. TC, I promise we're going to have plenty of time to go through.
Did you whip his ass in the parking lot?
If you'll let me get through my...
That's just a tease. We're going to go through all the other rounds as well.
That's the voice of DJ Pie. You heard the voice of Neil Schuster. That's Big Randy as well. GHIN empowers golfers before, during, and after every round, helping you play smarter, compete fairly, track your progress, and celebrate your journey. Go beyond the scorecard with pre-round tools to calculate strokes and set up games fairly. I do this. It's a great tool. You enter everybody's name, enter the T's, and it tells you exactly how many strokes everybody should get. Don't try to do the math yourself. You probably don't know how to do it with the handicaps and the ratings and all that stuff. Just use the tool in there. It's very easy to use. You can find anybody in the GHIN database. You can also manage the course with GPS, approach shot distances, putt break maps, and real-time game tracking. You can post scores, analyze your stats, and watch your game evolve. GHIN is not just about keeping score. It's about owning your game. You can try GHIN for free for 30 days. Download the app today to start the free trial. It's, of course, GHIN. GHIN. All right. We're going to get into some insights that we've gotten from there. But before we start that, I'm going to start with Deej in the top left corner here. There's a YouTube version of this. If you're listening in your car, there's going to be some data and some information showing up on the screen for the YouTube version on the No Laying Up Podcast YouTube channel, which we encourage you to subscribe to. But Deej, what kind of grade are you giving yourself so far in 2025?
Great question, Solly. Good to be with you. I would say I would give myself a C, and I think I can explain that in a couple different ways. We've got a lot of ends of different spectrums here. On one end, I did put in a lot of good work in the off season, quote unquote. Horrible spring up here. Have not gotten to play a lot of golf, but did a good job of kind of investing in my golf game over the winter here in Milwaukee. Put a nice net in the garage, got a good piece of turf to hit on, worked on a lot of wedge stuff, obviously did a lot of stack stuff. I feel like I set the deck pretty well and couldn't quite translate it to the golf course. And that's where I think the other end of that spectrum comes. Handicap has gone up significantly. We could talk about that. And so I think that kind of levels out to maybe a C. I think the teacher's seeing that I'm putting in a lot of effort. I'm really trying to get the concepts. It's just not maybe clicking right away, but it would be unfair to give me a failing grade. I think it's a kid that you like having in class, but we just need to see a little bit more proof of concept.
C's get degrees.
Yeah.
Can I challenge something here,
showing
though?
up for class?
Sure.
Deej, you mentioned the stack here. We had a great winner in the stack. I can check in on this on my app. It's been 89 days since I believe you've stacked.
Great score.
So when you talk about that not translating, I feel like that's a pretty...
My guy's underwater on his investment. Why does he want to keep chasing,
He's not even showing up to class.
That kind of goes hand in hand, if you ask me.
Sure. Listen, yeah, no excuses. Got to get back on it. I think you've gone through similar periods, Solly,
sure.
like this. Interesting. Thank you for throwing that out with specificity at me, though.
He's also got a par 3 course across the street from his house that he doesn't seem to be frequenting.
That's true.
You caught my attention by saying, you did all this stuff and then it didn't translate to the course. And that's where I'm like, well, hey, I don't know if that's a fair correlation here.
You're right. It's a fair pushback. And it's, I think, one thing with the stack that I'll say is there's a lot of benchmarks that you get to and you finish a program and it's easy to feel like, okay, got it. I finished, I got to that.
Top.
Yeah, I got to that plateau, that level, that, whatever. And it is hard to kind of be like, all right, man, let's get all the gear back on and go climb another peak. So yeah, it's just there's been some inertia in getting going again. But Solly, it's a very fair position, and I do need to get back on it.
Neil, what kind of grade would you give yourself?
I would give myself a B minus, but I'm gonna. It's a tough course. We're gonna say it's a B on a. There's a curve. There's a slight curve, and I would say, Deej, I have also felt like I've put the work in. I've signed up for the competitive events. I've put myself out there. I've played a good amount of golf, more than I did at this. I think at this juncture last year. I've hit the ball really well, and the reason I'm grading on a curve is I feel like I'm doing the hard stuff well. I feel like my ball striking is improved. I feel like I've done a really good job of putting my back into a better position. So I've tried to make some necessary swing changes, not for aesthetic reasons or to
How'd
have
you
a
do
different
that?
ball flight.
Like I know they had, like Greg Rose identified that reverse spine angle. How did you
Yeah.
actually go about making those changes?
It's crazy how important address posture is, TC. It really is. Like, I've been too much on my heels. I need to get like my knees bent. I need to feel like my quads are firing. I need to feel a weight. Like, you don't want to be on your toes, but to me right now, it feels like I'm on my toes because I've been way too far back in my heels, which then, puts my back and kind of not a, I don't want to have a totally rounded back, but like the example that I've been given is like when you watch Fleetwood hit the ball, it looks like he's like hunched over, and like that's good posture, especially like if you want to hit a draw, that's
You want
exactly.
to cover the golf ball.
Yeah. And so I don't know if I want to, I need to almost exaggerate it to make it feel like the neutral spine at address is normal. So I've been doing a lot of that, and that's not easy to do, especially like it's easy to do in the simulator, but then you go out and play the freaking Ike qualifier. It's a little harder to like trust the new posture. I feel like I've really hit it really well. Now we've backslid a little bit on our putting. I'm just kind of in my short game is, and I haven't worked on it. What do you expect? I was like talking to DJ about it. I was like, I don't practice chipping. Like, how do you expect to chip well if you like literally just don't do it, except for like 15 minutes before the round. So I can't expect. So I'd say a solid B. Handicap's gone up a little bit, but I think that we'll get to my 3 words to describe things. I'll explain that next, but B on a slight curve.
TC?
I would say I'm auditing the course this year, and it's kind of a pass fail thing, and I'm passing. I think I've gotten less wrapped up in what I'm shooting or what my handicap is, and just get more wrapped up in like just hit the shots and take it one shot at a time and build around and try to make birdies and stuff. And I think I've accomplished that. So I'm passing that. The thing that I'm still not really practicing, I'm doing the maintenance stuff to like take care of my body and bring my floor up, I think. But like, it hasn't been a great year for kind of like my mid to shorter irons. My wedges have been fine. My driving's been great. My putting's been great. But like I need to do some things to go to the next level. Then I need to test myself as well. Like I need to, I'm in the 100 level or 200 level class. Now I need to go compete for a grade at the 300 level class, I think. So yeah, I would say I'm passing. I'm showing up to class, I'm learning, and I'm preparing for my career ahead.
Man, I would have thought you'd just gone straight for something in the B plus A minus range from what we've seen. What I've seen in person a couple times, and
I'd say A
it's been
minus.
really,
sure.
really nice. So modest grade for yourself in just
Well,
the
and
past.
then
Randy, I'm very
Neil beat
curious.
me pretty good up in New York too, which really pissed me off.
Oh, that'll humble you.
TC had a great midterm, but now he's been coasting. Stop showing up for class.
Randy,
Listen, I'll play along here. I've played 9 times this year. I think it's gone actually pretty well. I feel like I'm hitting the ball pretty good. I've been fairly consistent, so I'm going to give myself a B plus. I think we've been keeping it between the mayo and the mustard, and I'm pleased when I do go out on the course how things are going.
Randy, I feel like I've played of those 9, maybe 6 of them with you between
over half for
Northern
sure.
Ireland
Yes.
and Milwaukee, and I
Yeah.
no exaggeration, I've never seen you drive the golf ball better. It is borderline automatic, man. It's fun,
It's
fun
great.
to watch.
Yeah.
Well, Randy, I know you and I kind of share that. Like, we like to whip a swing field till it dies on the track. What are we riding right now?
Well, yeah, the driver has been great. I mean, golf is it's a much more enjoyable pastime when you're getting off the tee well. I can attest to that. Neil, I think the big swing thought that I've been trying to keep in my head is twofold. One, not rolling open the wrists on takeaway, right? Trying to kind of keep that club head more square as I take it back and get it on top. And then two, just trying as best I can to really shift my weight from my right side to my left side. I have a real tendency to hang back and be on my right side. So I feel like, if I can get that feeling where the club face is, I mean, to me it feels shut. I know it's not. It's probably still open a little bit. And then transfer my weight through the golf shot. I feel like good things tend to happen usually. So we're gonna keep it going. It's worked up to this point.
Randy, question for you.
Yeah,
Is your
please.
tennis improving your golf?
I don't know if it's improving my golf. It's certainly not hurting my golf at this point, which is a win. So but I don't know of anything on the tennis court that I'm
Translates
specifically trying to. I guess as far as like body rotation and just getting through a shot, absolutely. Maybe that helps some. But yeah, I can't point to like anything specific. But I the fear would be really strong right hand and really rolling over through impact and kind of those sharp hooks.
It could
Hot
get snippy
Carl.
quick.
Yeah, I think would be the nightmare, and we've avoided those. So far so good there. That's a good question though, TC. Yeah, Solly, I'll turn it back to you. How about yourself?
Professor has given me an incomplete. I got to retake the course. I've not been attending class. I've had way too many trips back home for family stuff going on, and
So I got mono midway through the semester.
yeah,
Missed, like, 6
it's
weeks.
it's just
He's got a doctor's note.
But Solly's been good about going to office hours and really getting some sympathy.
I just don't. I'm not putting any
Comes out of the
effort
office, his
into it.
eyes are all red.
Yeah.
Whoa, what were they talking about in there?
It's hard to be hard on myself. I'm not really even like working on anything. I'm not really working towards anything. So it's an incomplete, and we're gonna retake the class. Hopefully, learn a little bit. But it'll be good to kind of reset from there. But
I think that's a bit of a recency bias. I mean, you showed up and played well at the Creator Classic. That's got to be a feather in your cap.
legitimately the only feather in the cap for the entire year. I think I played one good 18-hole round and one good 7-hole stretch on national
True, it was
television.
7 holes.
And that's the limit. Like I had a good 15-hole stretch at the Gasparilla and I finished 4th to last. So
Sure.
it's just not there, but what can I say? It's not that time in my life. This time period, especially during major season, it's a temporary, hopefully, decline. But man, it's a big decline, and we'll get into some of those numbers. But Deej, if we're describing your golf year in three words, how would you describe it?
A couple different directions I was thinking about taking this one, which sums up how I'm feeling. Which I'm going to go with uncertain and existential. We just talked about this on our golf spotlight. I think I'm really at a bit of a crossroads right now with my golf game and trying to figure out what am I trying to get out of this? Are we there to try to squeeze every ounce and improve the handicap and watch a number on an app go down? Possibly. I do really enjoy that. Are we out there to just like escape the troubles of everyday life and take in some sunshine and smell the grass? I really like that too, and I feel a little stuck in between those two things, if I'm being honest. And so go listen to the personal golf spotlight we did. I don't need to retread any of that stuff here, but that's kind of, I think, sums up where I'm at. Just a little stuck in the middle right now, and interested on kind of how the rest of the year is going to go.
Neil?
My 3 words are going to be waiting for tides. And I would like to call out my favorite movie, The Rock, and Sean Connery's line in there of I waited for 3 days underground in the dark, waiting for the tides to be right. I think we're not quite ready, but we're gonna break out of Alcatraz. Moving out of the city later this year. I think there's golf in my future. Like more consistent, easier access to practice golf in the next 12 months. And so my goal is to keep myself, like, I think my best golf is ahead of me, and that makes me very hopeful. And I want to keep myself physically able to play high level golf. And I want to get better. I have no doubt about it. Randy, I think I'm getting a lot out of golf, or see myself getting what you're getting out of tennis. It is a competitive outlet for me, and playing, I'll talk about the Ike qualifier as a low light later, but like seeing how, like, I just, man, I want to compete with these guys. I want to play good golf. I want to get better. And so but I'm not, it would be unfair to myself to be like, yeah, man, like, why aren't you putting better? It's like, yeah, man, like you literally haven't gone to a putting green in like 9 months other than before a round. You know what I mean? So it's like, I got to be fair about that. So we're waiting for tides.
Neil, I would say
I
on
love that.
on the rock front too, the blueprints are in your head.
Yes, they are.
Well,
They are.
And
I
the
was
air
on the ground
got
for 3
to a
days,
couple of your
DC.
putts too.
That's what people are going to say. They're going to say you were in the city for 3 years in the dark, just waiting for the tides to be right. I went through the cistern room, through the incinerator shaft, which was really cool, by the way. That's what people say. That was really cool. But how in the name of Zeus's butthole did you get out of your cell? That's going to be the real question.
Did you learn how to putt?
Yeah, exactly.
TC, your 3 words.
I would say promising early returns. It's interesting because, like, it's weird here in Florida, right? It's not really golf season. Like from Memorial Day to Labor Day, everybody either you play golf elsewhere. I don't really play that much at home this time of the year. I play a lot in January, February, March, and then I'll play a bunch, in the fall. But have some trips planned, put a bunch of good golf there. But I think promising early returns. I think one of the biggest things I've noticed is like, Solly, I'm turning into a turf guy, just like you.
Wow.
Like when I'm playing on really tight surfaces, I'm playing my best golf. And, whether that's like fescue, Bermuda, even tight bend or rye, like it's just versus Neil, like when we went up and we played Country Club of Troy and Glens Falls, there's just a little bit more grass underneath there pretty early in the season too. And it's just the turf interaction I'm struggling with because I like to hit down on the ball a little bit. So I think some iron inconsistencies that we're working through, and we will make those promising early returns into really, really good long-term yields.
What's awesome about those 3 words is that if you say them differently, it could come off as like a con man. Like, I'm like, promising early returns is like a scam. Like Solly's Bitcoin.
Like I'm promising early
not to
returns.
do it.
Yeah.
Like TC's over promising early returns.
Randy, I'm very curious for your 3 words.
I was just thinking like slow and steady. I mentioned at the end of May, I had 8 rounds logged. I have just one since then. But what I really like, what I'm, I guess, proud of, what I like seeing is 8 of those 9 rounds are between 81 and 85. So we've really established a new normal. I feel like we've raised the floor of the game. I have no expectation, and I have no, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It would not be right of me to expect much more than that, given what I put in. But it has been satisfying. It's fun. I kind of make a game. If I can shoot 84 or better when I go out, that's a fun day. And still looking to break 80 for the first time this year. But by and large, it's been enjoyable. And we're just slow and steady. Keeping on.
Solid.
Mine is going to be get it together. I mean, it's like, do something. I've just been, and it's been especially challenging, but because my life has just been like triage what comes most important at the very top whenever you do get free time, which, like, the challenging parts have greatly eaten into like my work time as it stands. So I feel like I'm constantly trying to triage something on the work front to the point where I've not been able to justify putting golf on the calendar, putting 9 holes on the calendar, putting range sessions on the calendar, because I'm like trying to keep my head above water with my workload as it is, with extremely limited time to do that. But I would like that to change. I would like to refamiliarize myself with, I feel quite disconnected from the game right now, which makes it harder to do my job, even though it's not our job every time we flip on the mics to be good at golf or to be able to talk about our own golf games. But I'm here, like, hearing TC's review of his fitting session this past week. I'm like, dude, I am trying to keep the ball off the hosel right now. And he's talking about I mean, we're getting paragraphs on paragraphs of turf interaction. I'm like, dude, I don't feel that at all right now. I hate that. I really miss that part, and I want to get it together. I was going to try to squeeze a range session in today. I don't think it's going to work, but I got to get out there and swing the golf club. We're playing tomorrow at TC, and I'm excited.
Yeah, we are. We're gonna beat the shit out of Poosh tomorrow.
That's a round I've had to reschedule 4 times now because it just can't do it.
I think there's a lot of people wondering if your pursuit of the Schwanzes in the fantasy baseball league is cutting into your golf game as well.
Who are these people that are wondering that?
I've heard voices. I've seen some threads.
Is that what
things?
office people are telling you?
Yeah. That's just kind of scouts. You see them out at the little league games. That's what they're saying.
That was in Neil's daily briefing from his front office that he got from his entire staff.
Neil thinks fantasy baseball takes so much time he literally outsourced the job, and he thinks I'm spending 40 hours a week on it.
Fully confident in it. Just you hire well and just genius boy. It's great stuff.
Solly, one of the things I think that's helped me out is like even when I'm going through a stretch where I'm not playing well, I kind of tell myself, hey, why am I out here? I'm out here to have fun, hang out with good people, see new golf courses, or find joy in the golf courses that I'm playing. And then I've just like almost tricked myself. Like Neil and I've talked about this a lot. Of like I've tricked myself, and maybe it's not even tricking. Maybe it's just like I am a decent player, but it's like I've just raised my expectations in a good way. I think of like the bad times aren't going to last forever, or like each shot is independent of the last, and just stacking those up. And I think like even if you're just going out and playing 9 holes, I think I think like the best thing for you would just be like embrace the volatility of like knowing that hey, your floor is going to be lower than you're accustomed to, but I think the ceiling is still there. Just go pin your ears back and try to shoot like 29.
Well, weirdly enough, I've actually like the rounds I have played, I've enjoyed more than maybe I have in past years, because there is the true like, dude, you could be doing a lot of other stuff other than being on this golf course. And if you let yourself be bitchy and whiny for 1 second about your poor play, you have misunderstood this game. And so I've enjoyed golf at a different level of like, all right, I shot 84 today. Who the fuck cares? I got to play golf. And that has not always been the case. So that part is the one thing I can look back with a little bit of pride on my game so far this year.
I would echo that exactly. And I think that sums up kind of what I was saying earlier, which is like, I have felt that same way on the golf course this year, Solly. And obviously it's been more inconsistent, and the rounds have been a little fewer and far between, both with having a kid and just having a horrible spring up here. But that's where I think it gets a little weird to just TC what you're talking about, almost like hold both of those things in your mind, where it's like, man, I feel like I am working hard to try to improve, and that's not really happening, but I'm still enjoying it in a totally different way. And it's just a different kind of cocktail of feelings out there that I think I'm still trying to sort out.
TC, we got to get in a Thursday game. That would give me something to look forward to. Easy little game in the. We used to play that in that so much, and I know it has gone by the wayside. But
come over and play with us in our Blue Man Group Friday game.
Come to Death Row.
Yeah. Before we get into, we're going to do a little quiz and then kind of do a little breakdown of some of the numbers. You might see a lot of Holderness and Bourne up on the screen. TC, what can you tell us about what they got going on there?
Yeah, actually, a couple of us, Deej and Randy, are wearing one of my favorite shirts we've ever done.
We both showed up. Both showed up in this one today, and we're like, no, should we change? No, we're not changing. It's simply too good. It's too good. We both have to wear it.
I'm wearing one of our new ones. It's got the
love those.
That's the only visor I can wear, because obviously I can't wear a visor up there. But summer stuff is out. It's Neil and I went up and previewed the fall stuff that's starting to come out. Some of the early summer stuff, but the new summer collection hit their website with more new styles launching. I think like this Friday in like 2 days. So this will be out. And Ryder Cup collection is online. Simple, clean trophy, plus a date only logo, not the big shield logo, which I think is like when you go to some of these other tournaments and it's just all this stuff going on. Like you want just clean, classy on a Holderness and Bourne piece. So they're doing that. Aeration, Randy, I don't have to tell you about aeration.
Micro perforations, macro comfort, TC.
It's I think aeration is, I've been wearing that during this heat wave. It's awesome. Seek those shirts out. They're starting to come out with it in some outerwear, some pullovers as well. They've got new colors in the best-selling Harwood Short. They translate well on and off the golf course. Performance fabric is perfect for the summer. I've been wearing the heck out of those. That's kind of
TC,
the yeah.
can I toss one in there?
Yeah.
The older I get, the more I appreciate a high quality T-shirt, which is what I'm
Yeah.
wearing from Holderness Bourne. Would recommend. It's a very nice, classy, basic T-shirt.
Yeah, Neil, I kind of scoffed at, I know the price point's a little bit higher just because they are like it's almost built more like a polo shirt than a t-shirt. But then I started wearing it. Like it's like the first thing that I
Well,
that
the
I
test
that I
is what do you
grab.
what do you
Yeah,
reach
yeah.
for out of the drawer? It's like,
Exactly.
so
And
it's like it is expensive, but then
if
it's
I
like
have
the
like
only thing I put
a
on.
long day of travel, there are a few flights, or I know been on a couple like 14-hour flights this year. Like that's the t-shirt that I that
No.
I reach for that I put on, you know?
You don't want to wear like a scruffy t-shirt and you don't want to put a polo on. You kind of just want to be in
Yeah.
between. That's where those sit. They're
Yeah.
great. So you can use code NLU10 at hbgolf.com. Get you 10% off your first order. That's that and our trap draw discount code are the only ones on the market for H&B. That's NLU10 at hbgolf.com. Fantastic product no matter what you're choosing off that site.
Great seasonal colors coming out too. So
All right, let's go around. I want you guys to look at your own GHIN rewind here, and I want you to give me one interesting insight you have from your own data, your own information here. We're going to start with you, Deej. What sticks out to you from your info?
I don't have a good one. Like I'm not gonna take up too much time because I would just say I just haven't been able to play a lot of golf because the spring really sucked. And I didn't do a good job of getting out in the conditions. I was itching to play, just wasn't really possible. So I guess my one insight is just like, man, it's been really hard to get out on the golf course. Only played my home course twice by the time this data was pulled. That's just not good enough. So that was kind of all I got.
Deej, I gotta ask. Tell me about that 94.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. That's
Okay.
because you were front row, big
Good
dog. That
question.
was with you, first round of the year. So
Oh, that was at
put a
Timuquana.
put a
Okay.
pin in that when we get to some lowlights.
God, that didn't seem like a 94. Huh.
It did
Yeah,
to
it seemed
me.
higher.
It seemed
It's
worse.
interesting.
Yeah.
Neil, anything stick out for you?
Well, so I was looking at my stats earlier. I love seeing my average score go to 78.5, same as last year, but I love seeing that below 79. I feel like it's been more volatile though. Since this came out in June, I put an 85 on there. So, but obviously the 69 is exciting to see. But specifically for my stats, my par 5 scoring, I called that out as a focus in January. Hey, we want to score better on par 5s. Like, hey, cool, man. It's 4.77, so it's below
Ooh,
par, which I feel good
hell
about.
yeah.
yeah.
That's
So
great.
that's something I would call out that I am happy about. Now, 34.6 putts per round, I'm not very happy about. But that's just the way it's going to go.
The par 5 thing's awesome.
Yeah,
Declare the
I've been really
intent and knock it
I've been
down.
actively thinking
Yeah.
about it when I'm playing. Not trying to put pressure on it, but like, okay, like
Focus.
just every round I'm trying to figure out if I was, kind of what my par 5 scoring is for the year.
I think yours is interesting too. Of like, it seems like you're playing a lot of courses that are just not rated very hard. Of like, they're either old school joints up in the Northeast that there's not a lot of water, or there's not a lot that is going to bump the rating or the slope up too much. And I think that's something else. Like from a good perspective of like you're scoring well on like not easier golf courses, but like you're just getting the ball in the hole, which is interesting because I think like sometimes like when I feel like if I go play a bunch of really hard courses and I just go make a bunch of pars, I may not be playing my best golf, but those scores in relation to the rating are, let's say you go play a 75 or a 76 rating, like it's much easier to get your handicap down playing those golf courses, whereas it's really hard to get your handicap down playing courses that are rated right around par or
Yeah,
slightly easier.
I just have too many rounds generally in the 80s, more so this year than I do last year. But like I've said before, I don't often play courses more than once. And so like I think if I had a home track or a place I played a lot, I think my handicap would just go down because there's probably 2 or 3 strokes around at those news courses. Like I wouldn't have done that, especially like Glens Falls, TC, and Country Club of Troy, where it's like kind of a hilly course, a lot of blind shots. You're like, man, that was a stupid club selection, stuff like that.
Yeah.
TC, what sticks out?
I would say Like my highest round is now Cody was there for 85, really bad. I think that 82 was at Glens Falls, Neil, I think. But overall, it's like pretty tight dispersion between like both as far as my shots go. Like everything feels like it's much more down the line, and I'm not missing wildly. I'm not making a lot of doubles, but also that's resulting in like less kind of score dispersion too. Like everything.
TC, can I just say, seeing 72-82 on your like scoring dispersion, and you're down 1.5 versus last year is exciting stuff. Like you don't have any like outliers that are bringing that average down. That's just like you're playing consistently good golf.
He's down to 1.5. He's down 0.9 shots.
Oh, okay. No, I'm looking at the scoring average, 76.6.
Yeah.
He's
average.
down average 18-hole score is down 1.5 strokes.
Yeah.
Which but you would expect there was like a 68 that was helping with that, right? For an average. There's nothing like that. There's no big outlier, which I think is a great trend for you.
Some of that too is like, I think kind of curious of like, let's say you just play a bunch more par 70 courses. How does that affect it?
That's fair.
Right. But no, the scoring average is definitely coming down. I need to do a better job of tracking, hole by holes and scoring average on par 3s versus par 5s, all of that stuff. That's kind of a second half of the year goal. But I would say like the one that's like the most frustrating is like I can go out. We have 2 courses here in Jax where I play. Ocean course is like I can go out there and shoot 70. It's really wide. It's it's fun. Like it's kind of a second shot golf course, but you can't really get yourself into too much trouble, especially after the first 5 holes. And it's rated pretty hard because it's typically windy or it's typically pretty firm and tight and fast. There's some water. And then, but like I can typically go out there and shoot, 74, 75 and guide it around, or go shoot 73. It's a par 71. And then our other course is the Lagoon course, and it's like 5,900 yards.
It's so hard.
And it's rated like 68.3 or 69. And like, honestly, like if we go play the tips there, like I struggle to break 80 on that course. It's so much harder. And it's like, it's short, but it's not hard. And it's just misrated, I think, too, of like, there's so much more water. There's so much more, like there's so many awkward shots. And then they get the greens going crazy fast. And it's like, you can just hang yourself on that golf course. So I think there might be some noise in the data for me too.
Sure. Fair enough.
I'm next. Just the fact that literally everything is red. The handicap up, scoring average up, birdies down, double bogeys or worse up, fairways hit down, greens and reg down, putts per round up, 3 putts per round up.
Does that data match the eye test?
It's just jarring to see all only down 1% on fairways is the highlight of this summary, but also it's a little dramatic. Like again, like starting the year at plus 1.9 was not accurate because I just didn't play any golf in between November and December anyways, which is usually the difficult time period in Florida, and the handicap ends up trending upwards anyways. I just didn't get any of those rounds in, so I just lingered from that summer play into the winter at plus almost 2, and that just was not an accurate reflection of the game. So I'm trying to grade myself on a little bit of curve that this soft cap doesn't hit as hard emotionally, but it's not great. Also,
when you open the GHIN app, does it say you're soft capped like every time?
It gives you like an
flashes
alert.
red.
It gives you like a little
lights.
So sick,
just to remind you of like how much you stink. Gives you like a little exclamation point. You got to click into it to see what it. I don't know how well you can see it, but
shout out to the USGA. Please keep doing that. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
A soft cap has been applied.
They should just turn the entire app like a different color for anybody.
I have like alarm bells going off when you open it. Wee. Randy, what sticks out in your data?
I don't have a ton here. I guess my 18-hole scoring average across 8 rounds is pretty close to my low round. So I think hopefully the same thing going on a little bit with TC about, I've been hovering in the better part of the spectrum this year, which is great. But the other thing I want to call out, we're getting through half the year here, and the dream is alive. 8 rounds posted, 8 different courses played. I have a dream to not play a course twice in a calendar year. The NIT makes that a little difficult, so I'm not sure if I will do that. But
withdraw. Randy's just gonna
just
withdraw.
WD.
I'm on quite a string here with not having replayed a course in like the last, if you go back into 2024, several months. So we're almost to a calendar year here.
The NIT
Randy,
also
was
could
that
be your walk-off round for the year. So maybe that's just a pure celebration of accomplishing the
Yeah,
goal.
that's true. That's true.
Randy, was that your first time at Colorado Golf Club?
You know, it's
Played
my
before?
second time. I had played here. I had played there like right after I moved out here, and had not gotten out there for several years. But that place is sweet. That place
Yeah,
is
it
awesome.
is.
Love seeing you dip into the paintbrush to use
Yeah.
it. Yeah, that's
God, looking at your
Yeah.
your GHIN rewind, Randy, the 3 words for me are just peaceful, easy feelings. You know, not a lot of golf, not a lot of high rounds, not a lot of low ones, just easy listening.
Well, that's that's
Not
better than
here for a
slow and
long
steady.
time.
But yeah,
Yeah.
we're here for a good time. So yeah, that's I don't know. I do. God, part of me does want to get to the NIT, having not replayed a course, but it's going to be a little difficult if I want to play around Denver.
it'd be good vibes for you at Dobson after last year.
I know. Yeah.
If you can't tell from listening to this podcast, we get out and travel a little bit. We take our golf clubs with us and we play some golf courses around the world. And if you're a fan of this show, you know that we travel well protected on golf trips with Club Glove, the #1 golf travel bag on tour. Trusted by LPGA golfers like Alexa Pano, Emily Peterson, Jessica Korda, PGA Tour golfers like Tom Hoagie, Cam Young, Brian Harmon, and more. This year, Club Glove, which has always been the best, just got even better. They've re-engineered the iconic traveler bag with 25% more padding, a velour-lined club head area, added a built-in TSA lock, and introduced a new military-grade ballistic nylon exterior, the strongest they've ever used. Check out the all-new Club Glove at clubglove.com, and for a limited time, use code NLU at checkout, and you receive a complimentary gift with purchase. That's code NLU at clubglove.com today. If you got a birthday, anything coming up, this is a great thing to put on your list to have a significant other get for you, because you are going to use this thing for many, many, many years. Code NLU at clubglove.com today. Back to the pod. Wrapping up the GHIN rewind portion of this, we'll go the same order here. Just kind of give me the brief description of your best round and your worst round so far of the year. Kind of what was working for you in that round, what was really not working in the high rounds. Steve, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I think that low round I think was 81 or something at my home course. Nothing really of note, just kind of, Neil, you were describing this hopeful feeling that if you start playing the same place over and over, you start to, get some comfortability with that and just kind of knowing how to get the ball around. I think that's what that round was. I don't know that it was necessarily like some great golf. It's just more like, oh man, I know how to play the 4th hole. I know where to miss on the 5th hole. I know how to avoid a double here. And so that's kind of what that was. And the high round, the 94, this was in January, coming out of a deep winter freeze down at Timuquana with you guys, and just completely lost. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, no idea where the club face is. Just knowing that, you get through like the 2nd or 3rd hole and you're just like, no, it's not here. Don't have it. Don't know how this don't know how this is gonna go. And yeah, what I walked away from that round with was almost this kind of fun feeling of like, you know what? It's January. Well, I don't know what that was, January 7th or 8th or something. It's like, you know what? I think that's gonna be the worst round of the year. It's already like January 7th or 8th. Like that's kind of sick. Maybe not.
You
Maybe
can build off
yeah,
this.
maybe we'll have some other clunker later on, but that was a kind of, I remember that vividly, walking off that one. And still, like, to our earlier point, Solly had a great time with Solly and Neil and Matt out there. Lovely day, fun walk. But I was just walked off. I was like, yeah, you know what? That's kind of funny. I bet that's the worst round of the year, and we're only 7 days
How
into the
about
year.
that?
That's pretty neat.
When do you want to make double though? On the first hole?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Now we're getting it all back the rest of this year.
Neil, your best round of the year, a 69.
69, which was really fun. I was actually playing. It was an MGA.
Second round ever breaking par, correct?
Yes, on a from not the forward tees, without any like asterisk, but like we didn't hit every cup, but there was nothing questionable about it. And I played with, by chance, John Sherman, practical golfer. that we did a video with on like course management stuff. It was an MGA like partner summit, and I was there. I was speaking on a panel with our guy Rich Lerner. It was fantastic. And then I went out and just played like really good golf. I had made an awful snipey swing on the first hole, saved a bogey, and then I just I made 5 birdies and what was it? 5 birdies and 2 bogeys. And I'll take this from a question later, like highlight or something I did for the first time. DJ, I pitched the perfect game in this round.
Oh, love that.
No 3 putts, no doubles, no lost balls. I've done 2 of those 3 things several times, but to do all 3 of those in the same round, that was the first time I've ever done that, at least in the last 5 years since I tracked that every round just mentally. And that was the biggest thrill. So that was awesome. It's not listed, but I shot 85 2 weeks ago at Watchung Valley, awesome golf course in New Jersey. It was an Ike qualifier, which is a big, like, I guess one of the Met Golf Association, like, majors, if you want to call it that. And I just played like really duty. It was a 3-hour rain delay, 5 hours and 45-minute round, just really slow, hot, steamy, buggy. And I just played really bad. And it was just like kind of a bit of a low point. So I'll save that one, but just didn't play good golf.
Hey, it happens. TC, your best round of the year, 72. Highest is 82.
72. I think it was at Jockey Club, but I don't know what the par there is. I don't know if that's even or if they've got some holes that are like probably more like par 4s. So I've got a bunch of like 1 and 2 over rounds, both like Tree Farm, Ponte Jordan Club, Terry Eady, and like I think the best rounds of the year have been like in wind. I think that's been like one of the surprising things. And so, whether it's then you add in like a PCC on top of it, like a playing conditions, adjustment, and it's like those are by far the best rounds of the year, but I don't know if they are score wise. But that seems to be the common thread of like when we played at Pinehurst number 10 and it was just crazy northwest wind, or even at Jockey Club, like it was just so hot and like stuff that just gets you out of like thinking about score, and you're just like, all right, I'm just hitting shot by shot. Like that seems to be the common thread when I'm playing well. Is like it's not a matter of like going out and trying to hang a number. It's just, it's kind of playing the conditions and playing the wind. Highest round now is 85, and that's just Rich Shinnecock, and I just straight up like couldn't hit a green. And then like when you're not hitting greens there, like you're just chipping or putting uphill from like bad positions like the entire day, and I was just exhausted too. So Cody can uh, confirm that, but it was just like, man, I am out of gas, and like legitimately, like this course is just like it's just too hard for me right now. I'm not playing well. Like I thought it was a lot harder than Oakmont, at least for like
Shinnecock is the Joe Pesci, like walking into the tarped room, like, oh shit, I didn't know I was dead. All like, you hit it's short grass over there, I should be okay. And then you get up there and you're like, I am so fucked over here, and I didn't even know it.
I've played 54 holes at Shinnecock now. I've made 1 birdie.
Jeez. I guess I
broke 80 one of those rounds too. But I just made a ton of pars, and like I just couldn't, that was 85 on a par 70 as well. Like bad round of golf.
And we had everything,
not a bunch of doubles.
Everything that day. We had high winds. I don't think they call it the marine layer, something like that, floating around all over the place. Perfect. I hope that's how it is next year. I played both of these rounds with TC. The Jockey was one of the most well-executed rounds of golf I've ever seen in my whole life. And TC, I think it does matter. You're not playing score. We had that was the culmination of a weeks-long match going on, and you were so dialed in. It was crazy impressive to see. Shinnecock, Sully, just to back up TC and his 85 here, it is the highest round that I have this year, my 80, but it's also the best round of golf that I've had this year, which doesn't make a lot of sense. I shot 45 on the front 9, shot 35 on the back to bring it home an 80. And I had to grind my tail off to get that back 9 in, but I was super proud of it. It's so tough.
We had some tough.
Talk about finishing the drill. That gets me hyped.
What's your
Good
low
stuff.
round of the year?
70. That's also a jockey. I will say this: a jockey. It is very scoreable, and I think we see that every year from the Corn Ferry Tour when they get down there. But TC brought up
We had a
his
couple front tees too.
yeah, they were doing some work, but he brought up his eagle on 10. I barely missed my eagle there, back-to-back par fives, and then lipped out 2 eagle putts in a row. But birdie played awesome in the back 9. Shot of the year was on that 13th hole back into the wind, just this low bullet little knockdown 9-iron, and I thought TC was like gonna jump in my arms. He's like, I couldn't believe you just hit that.
But
God, I
like
wanna play
Solly,
some
like
golf with Cody.
I think on my standpoint too, it's like the rounds that I can go back after the round, and it's not so much like, man, I hit a bunch of great shots. It's like I can only find 1 or 2 things I wish I had back, or like I didn't make mistakes that cost me. They may have cost me a stroke, or put me, make give me a 15-footer instead of a 10-footer, but like making it to where like you can count on one hand how many shots you wish you had back, or like, hey, I didn't execute that shot.
My low round was a really random 69 that I shot after the Gasparilla, where I shot 86 in that final round. I think I played 1 round between that and the Creator Classic. And I don't know why. I don't even remember how or why I was able to do this. It just was one of those days where everything felt easy and you just felt like the highest I could have shot and left actually a few shots out there, and didn't feel like I played that miraculously good. It's just one of those days that golf felt easy. It has not felt like that for one single day since then, but it is still in there somewhere. The high round also covers off on several answers to a lot of questions later on, so we'll revisit in this one. But I shot 88 at Oakmont. That honestly felt worse than that. Even it was, I've truly never been punched that hard, and I still think my soul is trying to recover a little bit from that one. It was just became this like, am I a total fraud? Like, am I only good at all the fake golf? Like, when the golf got very real, I shriveled up and just hid in that rough. And that was a low point. And I don't know if we'll again revisit that one. But
Is
that
this
one-
when Solomon shot 88?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm
it
kidding.
is. It is that time. So, Randy, highs and lows.
My low, let's start I guess with the low. My low round is an 81. I've done it twice. My first round of the year down in Hilton Head, and then again at Blue Mount. So Deej and Solly, you saw that round. I guess the Blue Mound round is notable only because I felt like it could have been a few shots better. Like I still remember 4-putting the 8th hole for double bogey. That was a kick in the nuts, and just a few other little mistakes there. But yeah, I was just, man, that was a great kind of afternoon, evening walk. It had rained in Milwaukee a lot earlier that day, but Blue Mountain took the rain very well. The greens were still decently slick, some fun pins. So that was a good day. My high round, actually, DJ Sully, you guys were there as well, was at Portrush. I don't know if I like played poorly. I certainly hit some bad shots. It just is, there's a reason it's it's an open championship course. Yeah, I just thought it was kind of difficult. You mix in, the wind was fresh at times, and yeah, I shot 91. I'm not ashamed of that one necessarily. Wish I could have played better on a course like that. But just truly chalk it up to was one of those days. So
A lot of
yeah,
gamesmanship from
those are my
Patty that
high
day
and
too.
lows.
I think that
That's right. We were trying to track down Patty. Patty
Yeah.
was playing out of his mind. Yeah.
That's
So-
such a bummer that you played your worst round when you guys were doing your dumbass bogey golf bit. That just breaks my heart. Your day out there got ruined.
That was
by
our only
I'm so
chance to
sorry.
claw back in that match.
God, Solly got mad about that. Also big. I remember. You don't always remember every shot from somebody else's round, but I do remember that first putt you hit on number 8 at Blue Mound.
It was bad.
On route to
Yeah,
the
yeah.
4
No,
putt.
that was
Really
that was
bad.
Yeah.
Really bad. It was like a 30-footer.
How do you 4-putt? Well, you don't hit a good first putt.
like a
And the
30-footer
second
that
putt
went like
wasn't
11 feet.
And the
Just
third putt
so
doesn't go
sick.
in.
right. And the second putt wasn't like that much better, and then the third putt didn't go in. And yeah, that's how you get to a four putt.
I'm hoping you guys didn't do too much peeking because we're going to do a little trivia questions or guessing here on some stats and numbers from the entire NLU team here. So if you were to guess, or maybe if you know the answer, if you looked too closely, let's leave a little suspense up there for the guessers. But whose handicap has gone down the most in 2025?
I would say, well, I mean, Casey,
Gotta be
I know
Casey.
hers has dipped, but I got to think on this here call, I think it's TC.
Yes, I would agree with both of those things.
Yeah.
On this here call, it is. I only have the answer that includes everybody. Sorry. Hold on. The answer is you are exactly right.
Yeah, among the 5 of us, has everybody else's handicap gone up? It sounds like.
And
It
this
feels
is
like it's kind of coming out of the off season.
It is.
These
Yeah.
numbers are through May 31st.
Correct. These numbers are through May 31st. TC is down 0.9. If we're extending beyond the people on this call, but somebody looming in the background here, Cody is low-key down 1.8
Whoa.
so far this year. He is down to a
Wow.
1.0 index, which, like, if I play my cards right on a certain day, I might get a pop off Cody on the golf course right now. I love the sound of that, but guy low-key playing a little bit of golf, hasn't logged a lot of rounds, must have had some nice ones in Argentina, floating that one down, but from a 2.8 to start the year down to a 1.0, that 70 that he fired his low round of the year. His average score is down 4.4 shots on the year.
Sheesh. I love the average score stat. I track that one closely.
And if you're not going to use that as a cue to come in here and gloat a little bit, I don't know what kind of cue we could possibly give you in here. But
Incredible restraint from Cody.
No, these are faulty. There's a compared to last year, that's easy. We got NIT rounds that were in there that were quite good. A couple of Argentina rounds were great, but really just beating it up kind of around here. I did play well on TC and I's a weekend away a couple weeks ago, but yeah, I'm playing good.
Love it.
Practicing.
Yeah.
Way more time practicing, gentlemen.
Love that.
So that was pulled May 31st. I think I'm a 1.3 at the moment. My low was April 23rd. I got down to a 0.9. So I just I'm not shooting under par or even
got to make
level
5
par
birdies in a
very
row
much.
more often
Exactly.
to do that. Though,
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know?
What's a lot of like
Casey,
73s.
but Casey's down the most.
Cody is down the most.
Cody's down the
we
most.
just
Okay.
covered.
No, I was just you said both of those things are right earlier, and I said Casey dropped
Of the ones on the call. Casey's actually up a little bit so far
Okay.
this year, which is surprising as well. But whose handicap has gone up the most of anyone on the team?
You.
I mean, it's
Sounds
tough.
like the
It might be.
pie man.
It's got to
Yeah.
be percentage wise. I would say it's solid. You know,
However you look at it, it's me. It is
Really?
I got
thought it was
soft
me for
cap.
sure.
No, I went from a plus 1.9 to start the year, which was a little misleading because it was.
I didn't realize it was quite that low.
Yeah, and
whoa! 21 rounds posted. You said you're not playing any golf. That seems like some G.
So there was maybe like 7, including Gasparilla, and like the 3 rounds I played right before that. TC and I got 5 rounds in on a North Carolina trip, 3 in Milwaukee, 3 in Northern Ireland, and then I think I have either 2 or 3 like just
binging,
like recreational. It's all been in like huge stints, and then like I just don't touch a club for like another 4 months, and I think I've played 4 or 5 non-camera rounds of golf so far this year. So, or I guess not all of them on the Carolinas trip were camera rounds, but it's not been something that happened frequently at home. Actually, that's 20
not
rounds.
a lot
I
of
had a
Saturday
double
morning
entry.
games in that 21.
0.0 Saturday morning games. And that's actually 20 rounds because I had a double posting that I've played -1 rounds of golf in June. So, but yeah, we're up 3.1. Soft cap is there, or else it would be up even more.
Soft cap is
Solomon.
soft
Solomon
cap.
What's the
did
difference
shoot
between
88.
soft cap and hard cap?
I don't know what the hard cap is, but soft cap is once you get over 3 shots away from your best handicap within the last 12 months. It like if you are, let's say, I'm 3.1. I'm probably actually 0.2 above that, and it cuts it in half. So like I only get the 0.1 dock on there instead of getting the full 0.2. So it's a small soft cap, but it could be bigger. Depending on how things go. But
it's like some of these there's this cap patrol thing that certain courses are using now too. Like Pat Steelman, He got caught up in Dunwoody. Crazy.
What's cap control?
Just to provide a little context here, Solly's absolutely right with the soft cap. So once you hit your soft cap at 3 strokes within the year, it slows the rate of additional movement beyond those 3 by 50%. Now, if you continue that trend and get to over 5 strokes within a year, that's when a hard cap is set.
You just freeze your assets.
And how long would the hard cap last before it's like, no, this is the new reality?
As long as
like,
it needs
this
to.
guy sucks.
It's a good,
Good
question.
question.
I should have
We'll
put
look into that.
Yeah, I should have put the hard cap as one of my goals for the year.
And honestly, the thing for me has just been like no 9 holes, no 3 holes, no practice in between all that stuff is where like the game has felt even more distant. Because I used to be pretty good at getting that stuff in. But who is leading the NLU scoring average title in 2025?
Gotta
be
be Cody,
Ben.
right?
Or Ben.
Oh, Ben. Yeah.
It's very easily Ben. He's only recorded 3 rounds as of May 31st, but he is averaged 71.7 in those rounds.
Recent club champion as well.
Yeah.
Recent club champ. But second on that list would actually be Cody at 74.6 for those 12 rounds, down 4.4 shots from last year. Who is on the team has played the most rounds of golf?
Casey.
Ooh, Casey or TC?
Tron? God.
Well, are we going by the
Maybe
May
just written more than
31st? Or are we going?
Yeah.
As of May 31st, recorded rounds, it was actually Casey. She had recorded 33 rounds.
Good for her.
TC was on 31, but I believe TC has also noted he's got some rounds that have not been recorded in there for match play or alt shot purposes, and then June has been a heavy month for him as well. So
yeah, I'm up to 46 and a half.
Jesus.
TC's playing courses that are so off the grid they don't even allow you to post.
Or some course they won't even let you. They don't have a course rating. It's just too. It's too.
No, that's not till July, my
avant-garde.
friends. Seriously.
Who has played the fewest rounds of golf? Again, this might be skewed a little bit by the May 31 cutoff, but
I wouldn't have guessed it, but it's got to be Ben.
it is
Yeah,
Ben.
The data we have.
3 rounds. But my guy gets out there and practices a lot.
Yeah.
I think he practices on like a 10-to-1 ratio per rounds of golf, if not harder than that.
Guy just rehearses, man. He's so dialed.
He's low-key getting it in.
I think we've talked about this prior, but like, what happens if at some point, if somebody's just playing a ton of simulator golf, like Neil, let's say you went and like played Oakmont on a simulator, like, and you're like, man, I played really well. I'm gonna post that score because I played Oakmont today. Like, do we ever reach a point where?
No, because you just always auto 2-putt, or
Yeah.
it's like putting and bunker play on the sim is so stupid.
Oh, I totally agree. Yeah, just
What
hope
would there
we
be a
never
playing
reach that
conditions?
point.
No, a playing conditions calculator for if you played in windy conditions on the sim.
Yeah. I personally would never do that. TC, I respect
Okay,
the game
good.
too much.
Just making sure.
I love seeing Ben, talking to him on trips and stuff. Like he just talk about like having a plan. Just sat down with Coach Mo, who people may have seen in the video that we did, and just like, no, we have like a year-long 1, 2, 3 year plan of like what we're gonna get to, and we're almost there. And I'm like, wow, that's sick. Like I can't imagine just
He's
having
like
that
Cody. He has a
together.
team.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
Who has had the biggest outlier round of the year? The gap between their average score and their low score.
Average score in there.
I guess it could be high or low, right?
It could be.
Oh, then it's
either
gotta
way.
be Solly. Solomon
Maybe
shot
Solly's
88.
88.
Solomon shot 88.
But that's just above my average score, though. You got to remember that average score is not is pretty high up there as well.
I had a pretty low one. I've been real volatile, so I think my average has gone up, and I would guess that it's 11 shots lower than my average score.
So
Sounds pretty
are you
confident.
calling yourself?
I'll take
I'm
it.
calling myself.
The answer is actually Casey. She had an 11.8 outlier. She shot an 82, and her average score has been 93.8.
Gosh, good for her.
So that is the biggest outlier. Neil's outlier, he shot a 69 with an average score of 78.5. So he almost a 10-shot differential with that. And then my average is 77.7, and I shot that 88, of course, which is a little over. is that 10 shots? Yeah.
Yeah.
10.3 differential with that one. So you don't need to flash that up on the screen every time we reference this, Cody.
That's fine. No, that's cool.
Please take that down.
We've seen quite enough of that.
All right, getting back to some questions about the golf played so far. I have a feeling we're gonna have some similar answers on this first question with a few people on this call. But I'll start with you, Deej. Your favorite golf course you played for the first time so far in 2025?
Hot take. My expectations were super low. Hadn't heard anything about this place, but I'm going to say Royal County Down is my favorite new course that I've played. Yeah, I mean, video is gonna come out probably pretty soon by the time this podcast is out, and it's just a shockingly nice day that we had out there. Could not have had better conditions to go play it. Perfectly sunny, gorgeous day. Great walk. It's about as good as it gets. So sorry for Randy. I'm sorry for maybe taking that one. I don't know if you wanted to go a different direction. Maybe Brown Deer Park you wanted to throw in there.
Brown Deer Park was sick. I mean, listen, the answer is Royal County Down, but I'll shout out on our Milwaukee trip. I was really taken by Blue Mound. I just thought that was an exceptional walk. Really cool Seth Rayner design. Some of the most crazy templated, awesome greens I've seen this year. So a strong runner up to Blue Mound, but I will join you with Royal County Down, Deej.
TC, favorite course you played for the first time in 2025?
A lot of different directions we can go here.
Favorite one course?
Honestly, all right, this is totally off the wall, but I just loved everything about this place and what it stood for, and the greens were firm, and there was just so much more that met the eye. The Sunnyside Par 3 course in Glens Falls, New York, was
good
awesome.
Answer.
It was lit. There's like this hidden tee box. That was awesome. And that to me is everything that a par 3 course should be, and everything that, like, played a bunch of great golf courses on that trip. And that one to me is like, man, like that time and place and just going back there. Like, I would love to go play that golf course again. Especially there's great stuff around it with Glens Falls and Country Club of Troy and a bunch of, Rutland Country Club, a bunch of other places. But like that to me is like that vibe there, and just the whole thing. It was like one of the coolest par 3 courses in the world.
Love that.
I love it.
Wow. That one
Passionate answer.
Neil.
I mean, I tried every which way not to say Terry Eady, but it's Terry Eady.
Yeah.
Being able to lap that place a few times in different types of weather, really, really, really grateful for that experience in the Southern Hemisphere. Deej runner-up would be the Shelter Harbor round we played last week.
Really fun.
Great turf, fantastic turf. Really, really cool course in Rhode Island.
My favorite golf course I played for the first time so far in 2025, I got to say Broom's Edge in South Carolina. Yeah, I mean, it was talk about going in with low expectations. You may have seen, TC and I talked about this on our Carolinas pod we did back in March, but seeing the pictures of the flag sticks with the little Broom's Edge, toppings on each of the flag, and kind of thought that might be a bit of a novelty, but honestly pretty floored with the golf course, and it's not even fully grown in yet. I think it has a lot of room to improve, and it wowed me in a way that I was really not expecting. So I'm really jacked up about that place, and had an amazing time there. So
I think a couple other just places similar to what you said, Sally, of that's kind of been the theme of my year. Like, I've played 25 different golf courses, but I think I've played 15 new ones for the first time. And like Neil, the 9 holes that we played at Tamarack in Connecticut in Greenwich was just like, that place just knocked my socks off. It was so awesome. Like, I cannot wait to get back there and play the back 9.
Yeah.
That place was sweet. Or like Glens Falls was awesome. Mar del Plata and Jockey.
Here we go. We asked for one. He
Oh,
I like the honorable mentions.
forced in a down the leaderboard segment.
I like the honorable mentions.
But even like Medina number 3, I talked about it on the Sunday pod a little bit, of just like how, I've watched a bunch of golf on that golf course, and then to see what OCM have come in and done there, it's like, it's insane. Like, it's going to be really interesting to watch at President's Cup and all that. So,
which is a sentence not many people say about really anything in relation to the President's Cup. So,
yeah.
except for when it goes to Royal Melbourne.
Neil, we did it. I haven't played a lot of new courses this year, but we did a little exploration up in New England, and I would shout out Marion Golf Club, the George Thomas, his first design up near New Bedford, Massachusetts, which I think that's kind of
Not the U.S. Open Marion
not,
for
of
those
course,
listening.
MAR, which I think
Little Marion,
Little Marion.
MAR.
I think a lot of I don't know. If they put some plans in place to spruce it up just a little bit, like it already feels very, if you know, and I think that's going to be like a social media darling and kind of just a darling of the golf world here over the next couple years. Really, really, really cool to see. And Weekapog, the 9-hole private club that we played up there too, Neil, was just a cool model that I think is worth shouting out. A really, really good 9-hole golf course that is, I think a great fit for people who don't necessarily want to be at the golf course for 8.5, 9 hours, go hang out and pound balls and play a long round and sit and have beers and lunch. If you just want to get in, play 9 holes, have a quick lunch and get out of there. Like, it was great for couples, great for families. Just a cool model that I think we'll probably see some more of.
What
Definitely.
was the best shot you've hit in 2025? Neil, I'm going to start with you for this one.
Recency bias. I would say I hit a 5-iron in the 9th hole, a blind approach at Shelter Harbor. That will ring in my loins for a while. It ended up like 40 feet from the hole, but I did everything I wanted to do, and I hit it over this specific rock with the exact ball flight I wanted. That was awesome. But I think the real one is the driver off the deck. I hit at Timuquana on, I believe, the 12th hole, with right in front of
Daddy
Captain
D,
Ron.
right?
Daddy
That's
D
right.
just absolutely
Daddy
bombs
D
away.
was out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, what was that, 16 or 17 T, like 50 feet away. And I think I spooked his personal security team because it was just an absolute bomb.
Seed.
So thank you for your attention in this important matter.
TC. One.
Yeah. One, and then I'll have Cody come in and fluff me on another one. It's gotta be the shot into 7 at Terra
Yeah,
when we were
TC.
out
Well,
playing that scramble.
honestly, like probably 7 of the 9 shots he hit into that green. He just kept hitting this unbelievable driver into the short par 4 that
or par 3. It was kind of right in between, so it depended upon what the wind was doing. But the good one I hit, like the one that almost went in, that went to like 4 inches, was the 3-wood.
yeah,
So
really good.
Yeah.
Easy answer.
Solly, the honorable mention was the one at Jockey Club on number 10. It's like one of the most outrageous hole locations on this, just the craziest green you've ever seen. And like, I don't think I could hit the shot again, knowing what that green is like when you get up there. It was kind of like, first time, like fresh eyes kind of thing. And now you would be like, holy shit, there, like I have scar tissue on this hole, or I know what's behind this green. So
Big guy.
Listen, I hit a great 7-iron down in Sea Pines at the Atlantic Dunes course with Goodbar on I think it was the 5th hole, a par 4, little kick in birdie. I mean, nothing like that, is gonna wow anybody. Just some really nice iron shots. I think in totality though, that the driver plays. Honestly, if just getting off the tee, getting that out there, 240, 250, whatever it may be, has certainly been the most useful shot for me this year.
Randy, what's is Goodbar's game still in complete free fall?
I don't think it's in free fall. Yeah, he says he's not playing that well at the moment, though. Shocker. I'm about to play some golf up in Michigan with him, giving him 3 pops. Never given him that many. So, yeah, I'll have more to report back later. TC.
Okay.
DJ.
Neil, a couple directions we could go from that round at Shelter Harbor that you've mentioned a couple times, but I'll throw out the par 5 12th. Greens were rolling very, very fast. They were about to have their member. So they were rolling at like 14.5 or something like that. And there was a par 5 where I was kind of just in front of the green, and it was all kind of going uphill, but the pin was up on top of this like very small shelf. And so it's kind of one of those where like you couldn't fly it to the top of the shelf because the greens were so fast and it was just going to run past. You didn't really want to like try to chip it, you didn't want to risk chipping it into the hill because it was going to hit and stick. So I just bumped a 3-wood, very similar to a lot of the shots I hit at the NLU Club Championship at Aaron Hills. And Neil and I were joking that it's like, this is the only time I've hit this shot in the States outside of that. And it's just kind of funny that it's 2 Hurston and Fry courses. And you just step up, you're like, that's 100% the shot, is just to bump a 3-wood, keep it on the ground, and knocked it up there to like, I don't know, 6-8 inches for birdie. Just feather in the cap. Keeping that one with
it was like no indecision. It was like before I had a chance to even turn around, I was like, oh my God, he's getting cheeky. It wasn't like, man, maybe what if I get artistic? It was like, no, this is the right shot. And he just executed it flawlessly. It was fantastic.
Hell yeah.
An homage to Randy. Keep it on the ground,
Deej, now that we're talking, I wonder if some of our shots from, is it the Bond course or the Band course at Castle Rock probably are deserving of,
I feel like we just beat
at least some honorable mentions.
Solly and Patty so bad, it's just not even sporting to bring that day up,
Okay, Deej, we were also sniffing around some aces on that par 3 course at
yeah. Well,
Shelton
I don't know if
Harbor.
I would say you and Kevin. I was very clanky.
I thought you were in on one. I thought you
one I was close, but you guys were really knocking down the sticks. That was all about you guys that day.
Thanks, man. Big of you.
I struggle to think of a great one from this year, but I think I got to go back when we played Stillwater TC. I forget what hole it was, the third or whatever that short par 4 was.
Yes.
I like topped a 2-iron off the tee, like top hosel pulled a 2-iron dead left that hit a bridge, and I thought was OB, and I had to hit a provisional, but got up, found the ball in the woods, and like punched it out in the middle of the fairway. And then I holed the wedge from the fairway for birdie.
To a nasty pin.
To a back left pin. Nobody else was watching. I was like, I think I just hold this. We got up there, and sure enough, it went in. And I haven't holed out from that far away in quite some time. But that was.
I would say honorable mention would be your tee shot into 18 at Tree Farm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You went into.
I did hit a little bunt driver that rode the slope, came down, and went probably within a foot of the front of the hole. It stopped about 3 feet away, and I canned the eagle. Followed it up with a double the next day on that hole, but showing off the genius of that hole. But,
so I would nominate not a very sexy option, but some of those par saves at the Creator Classic outside the hole, gotta make them. Yeah. Those were big putts.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say when he went back to the back tee at Royal County Down.
The back tee bandit.
I don't think we even need to.
Showed us how you do it from
that.
Yeah, that
from
wasn't
the way
even a
back.
great shot. It was just a great moment,
It was all inspiring.
Yeah. So declaring, I just simply cannot play this from the designated tees. I must go back for the good of the game.
Sounds like Neil at Terry.
Yeah, for sure. Got to check it out. Test yourself.
Deej, what was something you did for the first time on a golf course this year?
Neil, I think you're going to get a kick out of this one. I mentioned the Weekapaug 9-hole golf course that we played. I de-greened myself twice in 9 holes.
we both had the lag putting yips.
Putted off the green twice in 9 holes. I've never done that before. Crazy. Never done it. That's not just first time this year. That's, I think, first time in my life. I didn't know that the lag putting yips were a thing, but I'm convinced Neil and I both got them that day. A lot of just like 20 footers that were just hitting 20, 30 feet past the hole. It was crazy. I freak storm. I played again, a couple days after that, and like lag putted really well. It was surreal, Neil. I don't really know how to explain it, but yeah, that really stuck with me. Just like hitting a lot of greens and just having fucking no chance of making par.
Yeah,
it was nuts.
Bird box stuff. Just no feel for where anything is.
Yeah, insane round.
Neil, something you did for the first time on the golf course this year.
I mentioned the perfect game earlier, so I'll shout that out. But we were at a Titleist photo shoot, and Ben taught me how to hit a stinger, and it
cool.
It kind of stuck this time, Solly, versus the Ollie Schneiderjan's stinger lesson from like 2017. But we kind of hit the shot, Butch.
Oh man,
so that was
awesome.
exciting.
Yeah.
TC,
we talked about the 2 eagles in one day. I've done that a couple times this year. Talked about that a lot on
the 4 soups in one day.
In one round. Yeah, 4 soups in one day. So, not being afraid to chip, like Solly laying his hands on me, like that was a big thing. But thing I did for the first time, I was 4 down in a match play match. This was back in January. I was 4 down with 5 to play, and I won on the 18th hole.
That's good
regulation.
stuff. That's
I
a feather in
birdied
the
3
cap.
out of the last 5. It was windy. It was a nice morning, and yeah, it was like, yeah, like the guy was shook at the like he 3-putted from like 12 feet on 18.
Win 5 holes in a row more often.
Something I did for the first time on a golf course this year. This will tickle you, Deej. I got mad at DJ on the golf course. Like it was the first time this has ever happened.
Whoa.
Do you know what instance I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, Loch LaBelle. God, that was so sick. I stand by this.
Did you early call him? Was that the early
So-
call?
I did early
So
call,
context
but then it
on
got
this.
way funnier after that. The
Neil,
early
your
call, I
name may have
apologize
been
for.
mentioned
I
during all
apologize for
this.
the early call. I don't apologize for laughing about you underneath that
No,
tree.
but the full context here is I slept on the floor of the Charlotte airport that night. It took like a 5:30
So
a.m. flight.
tough.
I was on like 2 hours of sleep, so I was on edge and I was having a great time. But like when you're on so little
Slept on
sleep,
the floor of the Charlotte airport.
yeah,
Wow,
something
I didn't-
happened. Something
okay.
happened there.
Flight cancellations.
It was
Wow.
not good. But
Okay.
we rushed to Loch LaBelle. I wake up, slept like maybe an hour and a half on the floor. And like when you're on no sleep, like you're on edge. And I was having a great day. We were having fun, but like you don't know what is going to set you off. And I've been struggling with driver. And I hit this drive that I thought was really good, and the wind didn't take it. It stayed up the right and just like stopped on top of this hill in the rough under a tree. And Deej early called me on it. He was like, "Great ball." And I got up there and it was under the tree and I had no swing. It was like one tree, the only place in this big open field that I could have hit it that would have been screwed. And I just had an outsized reaction because I kept taking the club back. And I kept, I was like, all right, well, if I hit 9-iron, can I punch that? No, it kept hitting the tree. And I hear other people laughing in other parts.
It was your partner Dylan that was making us laugh
know.
because he's like got an 8-iron, like trying to do it. And then he's so mad and he goes back to the bag and changes clubs and it goes back and hits it again. And I don't know. It was just like this, I don't know if he thought that the, 1/8 of an inch in difference between clubs was going to be,
Well, no, it was like I was going to punt, like the lower I went was like the less of a backswing I would need, but I still hit it on my backswing and I chunked it out like 30 yards into the fairway.
so sick.
And I was just so mad about the early call, but it was, like it was just, you're going to have an outsized reaction to something when you're on no sleep. And it was that one. But I was aware of it in the moment too. That was the worst part of all of it.
Oh,
It's like, why am I so upset right now? But I am. And that is something I did for the first time on a golf course.
that's
this
good.
year.
That's a good answer. I like that. Well, hey, I apologize, man. That's
it is quite okay. It is a me problem. But that was the first time that had ever happened.
God.
What did you then said like what are you fucking Neil? Is that where I
Yeah.
came up?
Oh yeah. We
Oh,
referenced like
the early
18
calling?
times on
Yeah.
that hole.
Listen, I will say I've gotten better at the early calling. It comes up sometimes, but I've actively improved it. Now I do have another
You
one I
hit me
gotta
with
watch
one when
myself on.
we were in Cape, like New England.
I did.
think
I
made
knew
a
you were gonna bring that
triple.
up, but that was
Oh, good. You're gonna love that one. I was like,
I'm saying it's getting better. I gotta watch myself though on the I'm gonna rush to tee up my ball, and sometimes I'll crowd people, and I'm aware of it. I can't help, it's like don't you back, the guy's watching his shot, and you're just kind of like up in his space a little bit, trying to tee your ball up. So I just need to like hit the pause button a little bit before if I don't have the honor.
oh, that's a really funny
Sully,
one.
I would say another thing I did this year, I was gonna go over to the UK and do it, and the weather, the forecast, and I was just tired. So I just took a solo golf trip, and I'd never done that before, just like a solo trip. It was awesome. Like went out first off a couple mornings and just met up with random people who I didn't know for a few rounds. Had a couple friends come in, but it was just like it was just really fun to like not have a schedule, not be on anybody else's schedule, and just truly like I really want to do that like overseas too at some point of just hey, I'm gonna I'm in this area. Anybody anybody want to play? Like I got no
Office
plan.
hours.
Yeah.
That's kind of
Randy.
an aspirational idea.
Yeah. I don't have a great one, so I'll default Deej and Sully. You guys were there with me too. Brown deer. I have never gotten just dumped on as we're trying to hide in some trees. Well, I have
was
gotten
so
dumped on before, but I guess what makes this unique first time was being with AJ Ellis, former big league ball player, and having him just tell us stories. The one that sticks out is the benches clearing brawl against the Cardinals back when back when he was playing. So just a fun time listening to old baseball stories while getting very, very wet for about 25 minutes at Brown Deer State Park.
Well, I'll kick off the next one, which is our most unique or unexpected playing partners of the year. Unique or just absolutely tickled to get to play with AJ and to hear the war stories and just like bounce so many baseball questions off of him. I'm like just heat checking, like, am I crazy with this one, or what would I be missing with this one, or is this thought process, somewhat, am I on the right track with something like this? Just like a dude that is deeply entwined into the game and like was willing to tell stories and entertain all of our dumbass questions and probably wanted to do it more, was just a highlight. I'm envious of Deej, who gets to play a lot of golf with him.
I know. It's so nice. Even if he didn't, just somebody that will take all of our questions, answer everything, just play along with us, humor us for 4.5, 5 hours is so appreciated. Yeah. Whether he was annoyed on the inside or not, it was truly a highlight. So that's a great one, Solly.
Randy, you got to play catch in the parking lot. I don't think a lot of people are doing that.
I know. Got to warm up, play a little catch. God, he thought he said he thought he saw something in the right arm. I know, that was exciting. That is a good answer, but just for the sake of giving a different answer, we played with Ryan Duffy. What a character this guy was, and just a super nice guy. Loved his golf swing, good golfer. I think what made it the most unique to me is he is a fellow timeshare owner down in Hilton Head and Sea Pines.
Fantastic.
So we had a lot to talk about there. And TC, Greg Russell. He was telling me a story about
not personally, but
we've talked.
I've enjoyed his artistry. Yeah,
exactly.
For those that are not timeshare owners, can you maybe fill in the listenership on who?
Yeah, sorry. Okay, so Greg Russell, former Trap Draw guest, is just an institution at Harbortown down in Hilton Head. He plays guitar. He has a very family friendly show where he plays guitars, invites kids up to sing, kind of a variety show that he runs in the spring, and then he'll take a break in the summer. I believe he picks it back up in the fall. Anyway, he's been doing it for 40 years or so. So, Deej, how about you?
I would say I was very fortunate at the U.S. Women's Open Media Day at Erin Hills to play with Mike Wan, the head of the USGA, guy that I love talking to, respect a ton, and just being able to pick his brain for 4 or 5 hours about whatever came up, golf stories, business stories, and everything in between was a real thrill. I would love to do it again. Had an absolutely awesome time. And I would say one of my takeaways, like, for a guy that seems like he probably works a ton, absolute stick, really good player, really tidy, like just handsome game, just never was going to be in too much trouble, always in every hole, drove it really good, drove it pretty deep, nice short game, just a really good player. I think he's like, he said he was right around like a 4 handicap. I think it would be very possible for him to get lower, and I call on the USGA if that happens. I think a video of Mike playing US Open locals would be excellent content that I would love to watch.
Or him playing like US Open course from the tips. Can selfie style, can Mike Wan break 90 would be that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Sounds like he has some loud skills.
He does.
Loud traits.
Yeah, high level traits. Great time with him. Neil, what about you?
Kind of knock one off the list. Tommy Armour III, and of course TA4. I have played a bunch with TA4, but TA3, spent a lot of time with him. It was the first time I played golf with him, was earlier this year, and I just I've watched him play a lot of golf, but it was just fun to kind of check that one off the list, and we had a great time with TC was with me. We were at the Summit Club in Las Vegas. You can see that on our YouTube channel, but TA3 is in a good mood. Not always the case. So that was a fantastic day in Las Vegas.
TC, what was yours?
I Southpaw 24 at the Donnybrook. Who he's like, he's gonna come to the NIT. I was just blown away at, like, he's got limited use of one of his legs, and just being able to, like, I don't know, just seeing his attitude and like the way he gets himself around the golf course was like, I didn't even realize, we started talking about it maybe 10 or 11 holes in, and like, I was like, holy shit, like, that's crazy that you have that much damage to your leg and to kind of the left side of your body here. And just to see you manage your way around the golf course and everything that has to go into even just walking, even a course like Pinehurst number 2 was incredible. So, and I think it's weird. Like I play with some older guys here in Jax. I got paired up with an older guy up at Tree Farm, Russell, and this guy was just like a brick shit house of like, man, like I was playing with him and I'm like, this guy could beat the hell out of me. Like if we just dropped gloves right now. And I remember asking him, I'm like, hey, like what's your workout routine? He's like, I work out every morning at 6 a.m., 6 days a week, take Sundays off. But like, I don't go crazy hard. I go 30 to 45 minutes, but he's 60 years old and like he's in better shape than I've ever been in my entire life, like even including high school and college. And I'm like, man, that's something to strive for. That's something to like, really like that was just a good example of like they kind of scared straight a little bit,
I keep picturing that I'm going to do that in my 50s and 60s, but I don't do that in my 30s. I don't think that's going to actually happen. But.
I've heard it gets easier.
All right, final question.
The mobility kicks in later on.
I'm afraid of some overlap that we may have in this one, but what's been your favorite day on the golf course in 2025, Deej?
Oh man, yeah. You called on me first, so I'm gonna take it. It's the Royal County Down day. Right off the plane. You never know what you're gonna get. Kind of transatlantic flight, no real sleep. Driving straight to the golf course was a little bit of like a let's see how this goes, but it was bright, sunny sunshine and very little wind and just a perfect walk. And I think it would be very hard to find one that's too much better than that. So I'm sorry for taking that one from you guys.
It's fair. Neil?
I think it was TC and I flew from Atlanta from our parents' house to San Francisco.
The Sky Club.
Got off the plane, went to Cal Club, played golf, and went straight back to the airport to get on a red eye to New Zealand. And because it's on the eve of a big trip, there's so much like good juju. Cal Club rules. Got to see Bocce, my good friend who hosted us. Playing with Jason, TC, it's just like the weather in San Francisco, like everything was just like awesome. I played horrible, but I just had so much fun. And that was probably my favorite day just because it was kind of unique as well. Like we're going to play golf on a layover. There's not a lot of other times I think you're going to do that as you're going on a big, the biggest golf trip you've taken in a while.
Yeah. Which then Neil, like on the flip side too, is like going, playing golf in the morning down in New Zealand and then driving to the airport and then hopping on a 14-hour flight back to the States and getting home at 7 p.m. that same day. Like, it's like a cool thing too.
How is that possible? TC, what is your one favorite day on the golf course in 2025?
Yeah, obviously a lot of different directions we can go here. Neil, we had a great one I had a couple great ones up in New York with you and with Cody, but I think it's got to be like the finale of the Argentina trip. We're at Jockey Club. It's like 1,000,000 degrees. Wolfie almost aced 2 of the 4 par 3s.
With
like one of them didn't even
total apex of like 45 feet. Yeah.
The hot dog stand was closed. Like that was one of the most devastating. It was just highs and lows. Like down the stretch, like Wolfie's just puking his guts out from like heat exhaustion. We're playing this kind of old Mackenzie course that hasn't, that like it's both scruffy, but also like they haven't really messed it up either. It's just like playing it as it was in 1930, and just a great finish. We're all playing really good golf, and you're on the other side of the world with your buddies doing that. Like that's always a thrill. So, yeah, and just like like the hug on 18 of like, man, what a great trip. Like we didn't know what we were getting into, and we just went with it, and like you have that sense of satisfaction of like, hey, we flew down to the other side of the world and it was a raging success and we loved it.
God, it makes me want to get on the road tomorrow. Nothing more creative than what Deej said. Stoke level was just wildly high at Royal County Down. Weather was unbelievable. Getting to play off a red eye and like weirdly having energy to do it, and didn't play terrible. One of the few rounds this year I have not played terrible. I got to experience the golf shots, and it was just like we said while we were there. I don't know if there's anywhere in the world I'd rather be transported to in this moment right now. And I hope that comes through in the video coming out very soon. Good luck, Randy. What do you got?
Can't add to that. You guys said it better than I ever could. We talked about playing with AJ Ellis at Brown Deer. That would be up there. I guess just for the sake of a different answer, when I did play Colorado Golf Club, Ben Rector, our friend Ben Rector, the musician, was coming through town. And so not only the golf, but then went to his concert that night. It's always just a thrill to see those guys in their settings, right? The same can be said with Mr. Poosh. Love to play golf with him, but then it's really a kick to go to the show and to see them operating in their environment
And
at
it's
their work.
Randy, it's probably a thrill for them to play with you in your environment.
For sure.
I hope
to
so.
see
I hope
you
so.
out in your
Yeah.
office on the golf course.
Master of his
These-
craft.
But they're legit like rock stars. They're musicians.
know,
You know,
it
they're
is
playing
funny.
to sold out places. They're working the crowd. It's really cool. So I know that's not like just on the golf course, but in totality, I always love when our musician friends come through.
I always have the same feeling, Randy, and I think it's because probably at least for me, it's like I got to know both of those people before I knew much about their
Same,
music.
yeah.
You know, like you
Right.
just kind of were sitting at a dinner
Right.
table with them, and you're like, "Oh, hey, like you like golf," you know, and so the friendship kind of starts from there. And then you show up to the venue, you're like, "All these people are here
Yeah.
to see you? That's crazy, man! Whoa, they know like every word
Yeah.
to all the songs. That's
I was
nuts!
just bullshitting on
Yeah.
the course with you. Like
Whoa,
yeah.
how about that?
Whoa.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
He's doing that tomorrow
Yeah.
with we're playing with Poosh and go to
Yeah.
the concert tomorrow.
Oh, I love it. Well, go beat his ass, guys. Take him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna
Please.
do that.
Some pops. All right, that's going to be a wrap for.
Sorry, I got one other
Of course.
thing that like didn't even involve me playing. Sorry, but like
Just one more thing.
I'm really excited for like all of you guys to experience this. Hopefully one day is like Freddie's first golf match. Like it was a away match. It was over at Jack's Golf and Country Club. Like him,
Business trip.
Road game.
him just like his like healthy anxiety of like, hey dad, can we go? I was like, no, we have like 4 more hours till your tee time. It's like, no, I want to go hit falls. Or he's doing the same stuff that I did when I was like 9 or 10 of like cleaning out his golf bag and like going through his tees and and just like cleaning his clubs and all that stuff.
exciting.
And even just seeing his nervous energy on the first tee or never having played really a match before, of like seeing the light bulb kind of go on at various points during the round, or him him and his buddies kind of figuring out, all right, like, do we give that putt to the other team because it's inside of a foot, like just stuff like that. It was one of the coolest experiences
Wow.
of my life. And I think it's like I can tell he's hooked on golf, and I could tell also like he likes the competition element of it, but he still understands like, hey, I'm out here to have fun, it's like the
Did he
perfect
win?
balance. He's won. Yeah, I mean they're like little 9-hole matches, but like they play these little pennant, or they play these little flags, so they do like 3-hole sprints, and then so like he's won I think 3 of the 4 matches, and then they got boat raced in one of the other ones.
Lessons to be
So-
learned from getting boat raced.
God,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
good stuff, TC. That's well
Yeah.
said.
That's great. That's going to do it for our mid-year USGA Rewind wrap. Thank you, everyone, for participating, listening, watching, wherever you're taking this in. Thank you to our friends at the USGA for this as well. This is a lot of fun to do. We'll be back with a year-end wrap on this topic as well. And I'm going to promise you my handicap's coming down before the end of this year, guys. I promise you that right now.
Wow.
So some things to monitor as the year goes on. We had a check-in at the end of last year. Will this person go lower than their lowest round? We did a little survey. Will they shoot a lower score in 2025 than they did in 2024? Ben's lowest round last year was a 70. So far, his lowest is 71. Casey's lowest last year was 84, and she has broken that already with an 82. My lowest last year was a 65. Not one single person thought I was going to beat that. They have been astonishingly correct. I do have that 169, but we've not gotten anywhere close to that. Cody's low last year was 73, and he has shot a 70 this year. He has beaten that number. DJ shot a 73 last year. Haven't played enough golf to answer this. Well, 81 is the low. Look, we're working towards that 73, and I think we could threaten it.
We're trending.
Keep
though.
investing.
Yeah, exactly.
KVB's low last year was 78. It was 79 as of May 31, but I believe he shot a 76 sometime in June. So I think he has beaten that low so far this year. Neil, 72 last year, 69, of course, this year. He has beaten that. Randy, 72 last year. We got some work to go on this one, 81 being the low this year, but we got time. Plenty of
Don't
time.
stress yourself
Plenty
out,
of time.
Randy.
And we're going back to Dobson, where you could do that again. So.
Yeah.
That's right.
TC had a
That's right.
69 last year. Despite all the good golf this year, 72, I believe, is the low. I still think you can go lower than that this year with how he's hitting it. So,
Yeah.
thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll see you back here soon. Cheers.